I'm sitting outside McDonald's on a nice warm Saturday, and I've never mentioned this about myself, but one of the things I like to do is gauge how filling the different foods I buy are. For example, when I go to the market, I can get this like a sausage, which if I eat the whole thing, it'll last me probably 6-7 hours. There's another big sausage where if you where I cut it in half, and in eating just half of it, it lasts me most of the day or the remainder of the day if I eat it in like the afternoon or 5 o'clock or whatever. And as bad as my job has become, and when I say this, I have no reason to speak positively of them. I can admit that they are at least capable of, when I, let's say, buy a meal from them, giving me something that lasts about 6 hours. Even if I think it's overpriced, $13 for the little bit of stuff they have over there, I think is crazy. But it's just my opinion. So in going to McDonald's, and you can see the good old sign behind me, I've talked about they had the McValue menu. I've talked about how I've tried different things from here. And one infamous day saw me go and buy a Big Mac. And I normally try to get stuff from the market, but if I'm running late, or if I'm like really hungry and don't have any food with me, I'll acquiesce to the fast food frenzy. I got a Big Mac, and I work a shift in my job, and the shifts in my job are usually range from 4 to 5.5 hours. They're not that long, because like I said, when they raised the wages, they tried to cut us, in our hours just to almost nothing. So I eat the burger, I would say, about an hour before the shift starts, and it's around halfway through this, again, 4-hour shift, I start feeling kind of hungry, and I'm like, wait a second, I know that I can't be hungry. I just ate something a few hours ago, and sure enough, I was hungry again. Now, I have a relative who said that they were talking trash about Sizzlers and saying you buy something from Sizzlers, by the time you leave the place, you're hungry again. I think that's them over exaggerating. I'm telling you that I, like, factually will get something from one of these places and just test how long it takes for me to get hungry again. And I haven't bought anything from McDonald's in the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 months that hasn't seen me get hungry after, like, I have to eat 2 or 3 burgers to not be hungry again after a few hours. And even like the two by them, because I talk about like with the McValue menu, they you get 2 for $5 or whatever, or 1 for $3 and another 1 for $1. But even with those, now small they are, it still doesn't really make a difference. And I had an epiphany. I said, we really are caught in something of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, right? Where if you buy stuff from a lot of these places, it's overpriced. Like the stuff I mentioned at my job, I think is overpriced. But then if you buy things which are at a more moderate price, right, $5 for 2 burgers, there's still the issue of them making it so small that it's not filling and you're hungry again in a shorter duration of time than you would be if you went and bought something from somewhere else that was either cheaper or not from one of these fast food places. I just find it interesting how if they don't get you on the price, they get you on the size, where someone who's not as, I guess, sophisticated or doesn't pay as much attention will say, oh man, I can go to McDonald's and get 2 burgers for $5, and then they eat them, and then after 3-4 hours they're hungry again. It's like, so they have a nice little con going where now to get around the prices being ridiculous, they give you a food that's so itty bitty, so tiny, that you can't get anything out of eating it, that you might as well call them like snack burgers. And I said before that, like, I enjoy the fact that as a consumer I have the option to test this stuff, because I don't want to just eat one thing all the time. But yeah, at this point, I go to McDonald's pretty much now just to only get dessert items like a shake or a coffee. Like, it's gotten to the point where I don't think I'm ever going to buy any food from here again. Like, it's just insane to me how they've they've shrunk their meals so much that I've seen people react in real time of like, this is a large, this is a medium, because they're just shocked at how little they get for, $5, $10. Like it's crazy. But I've been picking up on that pattern because it's another one of these like schemes from companies where they know that their stuff has been criticized, along with most fast food places, as costing too much, right? Price themselves out of the market. So to get around carrying that label, they're going to make the stuff not cost as much, but they're also going to make the meals tinier than they were before, so they can still save, theoretically on resources. It's a nice little con they have going, and I just hope that more people revolt against the machine. It's sad though, because it's like, companies, and I said before, the only way to get them to change is to, I hate to use this phrase, vote with your wallet, where if you just don't buy anything from them anymore, then you start to like see their desperation to get back in your good graces. That's how I was with my job, where when I would go up there, I'd get 2 items for 11, and then they started like messing with my discount, so I just stopped buying stuff altogether. And now a lot of times when I go there, I don't even see anyone coming in, and it's a much like lighter workload than it used to be, because people are catching on to just how overpriced a lot of this stuff is. And if it's not overpriced, there's some kind of bait and switch going on with, like over here, where they're going to give you something that, oh, you're like, okay, $5-6. Oh, this is it. This is the full extent of my money. I'm supposed to get full off of this, really? Man, they really believe they're scamming somebody successfully, but people are always going to catch on eventually.